Adventure, Columbia's in-town sustainable farm. We're actually the first and only farm here in the city limits of Columbia. Our farm here is 2 3/4 acres, on which we grow about 25 to 30 varieties of vegetables. We also raise chickens. We have one beehive that's active as well. And we also have a greenhouse in which we raise tilapia and do some microgreens and some sprouts in there. Today I'm giving you a tour of the farm. Right in front of me we have snow peas. Right here to the right we have everything from cabbage, broccoli, kale, and our pole beans we planted as well. Along the hedgerow over there, there's still smaller blueberries. Back to the back where our friends are picking strawberries. We're kind of doing a U-pick for that. We're beginning to trellis our tomatoes, which they are an indeterminate variety, which means they'll be growing rather tall, actually up to 8 feet, and they'll bear fruit throughout the season. This is where we're raising chickens. The chickens actually came from Adventure, from y'all's Farmville event. So these are compliments of Adventure. We have a dozen chickens in here of mixed varieties. They are going to be laying eggs for us. And like many things we do here on the farm, they serve a dual purpose. Obviously they'll be laying eggs for us, which is a great benefit, but also we'll move this, which we call a chicken tractor. It's a movable pen. We'll move it around the site to allow them to free range. They will eat down insects, bugs, weeds, seeds, grasses, and things like that. And they'll also be fertilizing as they go. So it really serves many purposes besides just eggs. One of the things we're also doing here is experimenting with several different types of mushrooms, probably 5 or 6 different types, and we'll harvest those and most likely sell to restaurants. But again, they will actually add fertility to the soil. Once they've broken down this wood material, we'll actually use that as mushroom compost.
So I see that you got some fish in here today.
Yeah, today I actually finally put in our tilapia. We put in 1,500 tilapia into the tank here, which is 2,500 gallons of water. In addition to raising these fish, which we'll harvest after 8 to 9 months, they're a herbivore, rather quick growing. They like a warm climate, which is why we have them in a greenhouse. But in addition to raising the fish for sale, we have a raised plant bed system, which we pump the water from here out of the tank, which is highly fertile, through these raceways. It percolates through river rock and watercress, and that filters out all the impurities, all the nitrogen and everything else out of the water. So it serves as a biological filter for the tank. This is what we call vermicomposting. It's taking finished compost and using it kind of as worm bins. So we have kind of a little worm farm in here. There are literally thousands and thousands of worms in here. And we'll take this, once these worms kind of break the soil down a little bit further, we'll reuse this for propagating our plants. But in addition to having these worms, we actually collect the water and kind of tea here, as we call it, worm tea, that comes out of here. We use these drippings, as a foliar feeder, as a fertilizer for our plants. So again, having a dual system in which one thing benefits the other. One of the major things about having a sustainable farm or organic farm is your soil fertility. It's one of the most important things. The more fertile your soil is, the better your plants are going to grow, the more likely they're going to stem off disease, insects, and other things like that. So the healthier your plants are, the healthier your plants are going to be, the more flavorful and more nutrient-rich your vegetables are going to be. And one of those things to add fertility to your soil is composting, which beneath me we have a combination of a lot of vegetables and wood chips. Your vegetables would be your nitrogen, and your wood chips would be your carbon. And this will break down over the next several months, and it'll be the aerobic process of your bacteria and other microorganisms and things that are breaking that down. Our compost piles here actually get up to about 140 degrees or so when that process is happening. That's what we kind of refer to as the compost is cooking. And then once it kind of continues to break down, it'll start to cool off. We'll turn it a couple times, and then it is ready to go back into the field, again adding fertility to your soil. So that's one of the most important things that we do here, is making sure that we have healthy soil. And would you like to talk about why we have these?
Sure. Well, bees are very important for a number of reasons. Most of all, people are familiar with their main use to us, which is pollination. And of course, side effect of that is also that we get the yield of honey off them. But honeybees are just one of a few pollinators, actually, or actually many pollinators, excuse me. But I think they're the most well known. They seem to be in a fine mood. They're not cranky. And I believe that frame has a good bit of honey in it.
It does. It's got a lot of honey and a lot of pollen, which is their food.
The bright yellow is some brood as well, some dark spots. Some of
That guy just went at me. And what we do usually here is to check to see how healthy the hive is. I'll look and try and find the queen. I'll look see how much brood they're laying, if she's healthy, and how much honey they're laying as well.
So approximately how many bees are in there?
Probably around 10,000. We are doing a You Pick strawberries, if anyone likes to come down and pick their own strawberries. They are rather flavorful. We don't use any pesticides or herbicides here on the farm, which means you can pick them out here in the field and eat them yourself. And they're really good. One of the reasons we started our farm here is to have an educational component in which we'll be able to talk to students like yourselves and to be able to show you how we grow things, when we grow things, and the environmentally friendly methods that we do to growing things.